This perp back with another video, and I just got done watching the third episode of Snowfall season 3, and things are starting to really kick off, and we get a lot of interesting reveals and you know, some dope origin stories. I'll get to that very shortly, but you know, like this video if you enjoyed this episode, and hit that sub button if you're new. And with all that being said, let's get right into this review. So this episode starts off with Franklin pretty much talking to everybody, about the territories and different strategies and how they could work things out, and construct rules and whatnot. And I like that kind of possibly teases we're going to see a lot more characters being introduced into the future of this series, depending on how long it goes, who knows. But it's really interesting. I want to see some of these people that run these other territories and stuff. It'd be really interesting to see that. And you just see Franklin just becoming really comfortable in his own skin by doing all this. Like, he's already all the way in, and you see it changing him. He's a completely different person in this season than he was in the previous seasons. Like, he definitely broke out of his shell. But yeah, Javi pretty much approaches him at Jerome's store and tells him, yo, we need to go to Panama to set up that banking deal, set up a bank. And Franklin's very relaxed, and he's like, we gotta go now. He's like, and Javi's like, yeah, we gotta get going, man. These people don't like to wait around. So they hop onto the plane. They head to Panama. I really liked Javi in this episode, because he gave you a lot of interesting lines, and it's kind of like he's trying to give Franklin advice, because he feels like Franklin is going to go possibly the same route that he has. But while that's going on, we got Teddy and Julia. That's her name, right? Julia. They're pretty much setting up that landing strip, and they meet this dude named Bob Kim, and he's a former CIA agent, and he's kind of just living off the grid and whatnot. Very creepy person, but we get to him very shortly. I kind of like his character. I want to see more of that. But meanwhile, Leon goes to visit, go drop off work to pretty much Manboy, and they get into a little altercation. Not them per se, but he sees that Wanda's there, and she's pretty much acting like a hoe, and it's all strung out. And him and Manboy kind of butt heads, and he's like, yo, you gotta fix your shit, or we just not gonna do business. And Manboy already feels some type of way about this, but I'll get back to that. Back in Panama, Franklin and Avi wait at this hotel to meet up with this guy that's supposed to be setting up this bank, set up this account, whatever, for Franklin, so he can have some offshore accounts and whatnot. And I really like this episode, because you get to see Franklin really coming into his own, really trying to be independent from these other people, and really try to run it the way he wants to run it, and not the other way around. And he doesn't want to play pretty much second fiddle to people, and you see that played out throughout this episode. Well, meanwhile, you got Uso, my boy Uso, out here with his own little adventures, still looking for Lucia, and I'll get back to him towards the end of this video. But while this is all going down, going back to where Teddy and Julia are with this dude Bob. He's pretty much, I like the scene because this dude Bob pretty much gives us a little backstory on, you know, how he got to where he was at, and he kind of parallels to what Teddy is going through, because Teddy, you know, he sees himself kind of, he doesn't want to end up like this, but, you know, who knows what's going to happen with him in this story. But, you know, Bob tells them to drink this tea, and they end up going, him and Julia end up going on this huge ass trip. This was pretty interesting. End up fucking on like a water fountain. Really random. But anyways, going back to Panama, you know, Franklin finds himself with a chick that he, you know, is really digging. And, you know, I don't know if this chick is gonna end up becoming like a season regular or somebody that Franklin just talks to whenever he's in Panama, but, you know, he's pretty much tired of waiting on Avi because he feels like he's bullshitting. So Franklin comes up with his own idea and, you know, ends up leaving the hotel. While that's going on, back with Leon and, you know, everybody, they're trying to figure out why Leon ain't give Manboy his coke, and, you know, Louis pretty much tells him, you need to stop being so emotional about certain things. We still have to do business with this guy. So Louis ends up calling Peaches, and they go down to where Manboy's at, and, you know, try to square things off. And, you know, he pretty much tells like why, and I thought this was pretty funny, where we get a little bit of like why his name is Manboy, and he pretty much tells him, since I was a man since I was a little boy. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But, you know, Wanda and Louis have an altercation, and that sets off Louis, and Louis goes back in to tell Manboy, you gotta get rid of Wanda. She can't be trusted, or we can't do business, you know, you just gotta get rid of her. And this is where we get to really see Manboy kind of like turn up a little bit and see the rage of him. And he's still a mystery. I don't know, but, you know, he chokes the shit out of Wanda and almost kills her. But, you know, that shit was crazy. But anyways, going back to Panama, Javi is pretty much looking for Franklin, and Franklin pops back up, and Javi's wondering where's the money at, and come to find out that Javi's been being blackmailed, and, you know, he was going to use Franklin. He was going to use Franklin's money, pretty much, and, you know, this kind of pisses off Franklin, and he kind of pretty much threatens him, but he knows he somewhat still needs him. But also, I like that Franklin is really, you know, stepping up his own game, and he, you know, he's kind of separating himself from everybody. But like I said, to end this off, I want to talk about Gustavo. You know, him just going on this road trip to drop off this product, and, you know, he ends up having to shoot a cop. Well, he didn't get to shoot a cop, but he was almost about to shoot a cop. And, you know, come to find out, his new dealer is, you know, Salad Face herself, Sadala, or whatever her name is. And, you know, he already has some bad blood towards her, and it pretty much ends off with Gustavo letting off a shot. Now, I don't know if he straight up killed her, which would be insane. He might have grazed her, or, you know, a warning shot or something like that. But, man, this episode was really good. I thought it was, you know, it's starting to pick up, you know. And I know a lot of people might not have liked the first two episodes. You know, they were kind of slow, but they're building up to something. I'm liking the season so far. I give this is a solid episode. What do you guys think in the comments below? Let me know what you guys think. And I'll check y'all out next week with episode 4. Should be a real good one. But, you know, follow me on Twitter at PerpMinded, and like this video if you enjoyed this episode, and hit that subscribe button if you're new. And I'm out. Peace.
When I was young, I thought that success was all I needed. That's what was gonna bring the happiness. Buying my mom a house, being the fame, the accolades, having people say, yo, you are the best in the game. I thought those would be the things that would bring happiness. And then when those things came, the happiness wasn't there. And I realized why that was. There was such an attempt to achieve these things and to keep going that you lose sight of the people and the blessings that you have around.